This is all about optics. It's all about a maneuver to make the blame fall on the Republic. That's why the president spoke as he did, with sort of imperious anger in that extraordinary conference he held an hour or two ago. And the Republicans, I think, have completely misplayed the optics. They have now twice been seen as walking out, as being unreasonable. Cantor walking out a couple of weeks ago, and now Boehner is the one who left, as Obama said, had left Obama at the altar. This is after the Speaker himself had said in the earlier round of negotiations that negotiating with Obama is like negotiating with Jell-O, and yet he returned for a second Jell-O round. I think the Republicans have to be extremely aware of the optics now. They have two choices: accepting McConnell, which is simply a parachute out of this dilemma. It punts everything until next year, and the people will decide in the election. You raise the debt ceiling, and nothing happens until Election Day. The other option, I think, is the one that Steve has talked about, a plan according to what the Republicans have wanted: cuts only and an increase in the ceiling that matches the cuts. The reason they have to go short on this is because if you're going to speak about $2.5 trillion of cuts, it's going to look unreasonable. You want to look reasonable because how the American people decide who's at fault will hinge on reasonableness. So I would recommend a smaller raise in the limits, say $0.5 trillion, so the cuts look reasonable, and that gives you about half a year to further negotiations, to work on tax reform, entitlement cuts,
let me just interrupt because we're about to run out of time.
That's two choices.
The optics you talk about, according to the polls, most people do not want to see just spending cuts. So if Republicans insist on that, is that a problem for them?
It depends on the poll you choose. 60% of Americans don't want to see a hike in the debt ceiling at all. So you can read the polls any way you want. You have to make a reasonable proposal, cuts only, and then the president is the one who's on the defensive. Will he really veto a bill like that, short, simple, and clean, and put us into default? I think not.
Steve, this is